Okay, let's make a script. And what a script is for Matlab is just a text file that contains a sequence of commands that Matlab runs in sequence. And it's quite convenient compared to constantly rerunning the commands at the command line, and also it's something you end up recycling. So in this video I'm going to talk about how to make one, and then a little bit about commenting, so sort of proper documentation. So the first thing you do is you have Matlab running here, and you might, if you want us to make one from scratch, you go over here and File New, and what this does is it launches the Matlab Editor. And so this has all the sort of tools you might expect for an editor, and it's aware of the fact that it's part of Matlab, and so it can go ahead and check your work in a sense and look for errors and try to help out. And it also color codes the text by the function. So you can just start to write the text. So you can start writing and say load. If you remember our command from before, srd discharge 2008.txt, comma, and then we said it's good habit to say .ascii. Okay. Now once you've done that, you can go ahead and save it. So you just say save as, and you want to make sure you're kind of sensitive about what's going on. So notice here I'm in the GLG 410 directory that I created in the last lecture on the M drive. So I'm working there, and I'm just going to call this my Salt River script. And so it calls it an M file. So the .m means MATLAB, and that is the name for files that contain commands for MATLAB, which is either a script or a function, which is something we'll talk about in the future. So we say save, and then we can go to our command window here, and we can just run it by typing its name, my Salt River script and importantly, you don't type the .m, just type the name, and it runs it. And in that case, it loaded the discharge variable as we had discussed the last time. So here I've put all the commands into my Salt River script from the lecture, and so remember, this loads the file, then it's going to plot the first column against the second column, and we're going to say give it a title, Salt River discharge, name, label the axes, the X label, the Y label, and we're going to print this as a figure that's called discharge.jpg. So I can go back over here to the command line, and I can do an up arrow and run it, and there's our plot. And so you see discharge versus day of the year, so you can see these first kind of looks like starting around 40, so it was a very rainy February that winter in 2008, if you guys may remember. So we can go back to the editor. One thing I want to point out is we didn't give any arguments to the plot command. So one quick thing is, if you come in here to plot, you can say comma, and then we do a single quote, and if we do K and a dash and like that, that will see what happens. So we can say save, go back over here and run it, go look for my figure. You see it's black, so K means black as far as the color goes. And we can, if you like the blue, you just do B for blue. Now one thing you might realize is that's kind of annoying to have to keep going back to the command line. So you can just push save, and then this green arrow means run it. Okay, and then the figure in that case you might have seen is blue. Or the line term blue. So how about R, the red? So save, you have to remember to save. If you just hit this, it runs the old one. And now it's red. Okay? And now you can see I've added comments to our file. And here, any comment in MATLAB is a line that begins with a %sign, and it's meant for people to read, not MATLAB. MATLAB ignores any line with a percent sign. And I want you to develop a good habit where you are really providing useful information in your comments, and don't worry if you have a lot of words, it's good. You can see we start off with a title and a title block. It says what this thing does, who did it, when the last time it was updated, and then you see we break the main script into the blocks of kind of common activities. So we're going to load the file, we're going to create the plot and annotate it, and then we'll save the figure as a JPEG. So now I can run it, and there it is.